Hello guys, welcome back to Life with Polly. So, I am currently sitting in my living room, my new living room, and as you can see I got the backdrop behind me. And yeah, I wanted to do this video today because there are a lot of people out there that wonder how hard it is to get SSI or to get SSDI. And I wanted to put this video out there for everybody and basically tell you my experience with getting it. And, I've watched other YouTubers. I just watched this other lady the other day that said that she got denied again for SSI or SSDI. I don't know exactly what she's filing for, but that she got denied again. Most of the time, if you apply for SSI for some reason or SSDI, you're going to get denied. Unless it's a very, very serious condition and a very debilitating condition, you're going to get denied. Most of the time, if you're applying for SSI or SSDI, you're going to need a lawyer. And I would suggest to get a lawyer and a lawyer to do it for you. Now, in my case, I applied for SSDI a few years ago. Actually, more than a few years ago. I got it a few years ago, but it took me 3 years to get it. I put the application in myself, and I did all the paperwork myself. I submitted all my doctor's papers and things like that myself. I did not have a lawyer the first time. I got denied, and then I appealed the decision, and then the appeal was also denied. So I had to reapply all over again for SSDI because I worked quite a few years of my life. I worked from the age of 17. My first job I got actually when I was 16, and I worked from 16 until, I worked a lot of years. Mainly, I worked at McDonald's. I worked at the Outback Steakhouse. I worked a lot in a lot of fast food places. Later on in life, my last job that I had, I actually got a home care aide position, and I was doing home care, and I made pretty good money from that home care aide position. So on my SSDI, I get a little bit more than some people. But there are people on SSDI that get more than I do. Now, if you're on SSI, or you're applying for SSI, you're going to get a lot less. I think it's $900 and something a month or something like that. But in my case, I applied, I got denied, then I appealed it, and the appeal got denied, and things like that. I did not go in front of a judge. So I had to reapply for SSDI all over again. And I went through the steps by myself, but I did end up calling a lawyer. Why did I call a lawyer? I don't know, because my lawyer didn't do much. I did mainly all of it myself. We did end up going into court in front of a judge, and even though I had a lawyer and we were in front of the judge basically still said that I needed a note from my doctor stating that I could not work. He says, if you get the note from your doctor saying you cannot work, I will approve you. So that's what I did. I had to get a statement from my doctor that says you cannot work. Now, a lot of people might look at me and they might look at other people and say, well, there's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong, there's nothing wrong with you. Why are you on it? Well, I'm on it I first got on it due to some mental health reasons. I'm not crazy by all means, but I had major depression, anxiety, and stress. I ended up in a lot of, in the hospital a lot because of anxiety attacks. When you get to that point where you can't breathe and things like that. And I did end up getting on medicine for that, and I was also diagnosed with explosive disorder. What I used to do when, years back, I used to get mad at people and blow up at people. People would make me mad, and I would blow up at them. I wouldn't hit them or punch them or kick them or do anything like that. But I would become majorly blowing up. I would slam cabinet doors. I would slam car doors. I would slam cups down on the table. They call that an explosive disorder. But even with all that, he wasn't going to approve me unless I got a note from the doctor stating that I could not work, that it was a debilitating condition. And plus, they have the people come in when you're sitting with the judge. Actually, before you sit with the judge, these people come in and you sit at a big table and they figure out if you could do any jobs or not other than what you're doing or did in the past. And if you can't, they also put that on the record too. And so that's first I got on that for the mental health reasons. But now my condition, now if you get on it for mental health reasons and you're going to counseling, or if you get on disability or SSI, and the judge thinks that it might be fixed or can be fixed with counseling or going to the back doctor or whatever the case may be, then they will put reviews on your SSDI case or your SSI case every so often. Some people get reviews every 3 years. Some people get reviews every 7 years. Okay, and they send you a paper. They ask you to fill it out if anything has changed or whatnot. So you do get reviews on your case. Now, mine was a condition that could get better with treatment, could get better with medicine. And if it did, then they would consider that I could work again. And they would take me off the SSDI or the SSI. But now, with my heart condition is a permanent condition. I had a widowmaker heart attack back in 2021. I had a widowmaker heart attack in October of 2021. And what happened was I had the C word. And I believe that was some of the cause of the blood clots in my heart. I had blood clots in my main artery that blocked 100% of my veins. I didn't even know I had a heart attack. What happened was I went to sleep one night. I woke up on the floor wet. I peed myself face down on the floor. That's how I woke up. I didn't even know I had a heart attack. I woke up. At that time, my mom was dying of cancer. I was taking care of her. I was the only one taking care of her, and I said, Mom, I'm going to the hospital because I feel my chest. I had just gotten over the C word, so I figured I was still coughing and stuff, and had chest congestion because of that. So I said, I'm going to the hospital, I'll be right back. I went to one hospital, they did an EKG, and they said, you have to go to another hospital, you had a heart attack, a major heart attack. And when I got to the second hospital, I was in the operating room within 30 minutes, and they went in there, they went in through my groin area, and they sent a line up to my heart to suck out the blood clots, and they put 2 stents in my heart. But it must have been like that for a while because it destroyed my heart. Excuse me. Right now, I only have a 35% infraction rate, which means that's what pumps the blood through your body. I only have a 35% infraction rate, and I get tired a lot. Sometimes I will get dizzy and almost pass out because of the 35% infraction rate. Once your heart is damaged, I have a lot of scar tissue on my lung from that major widowmaker heart attack. A lot of people don't survive a widowmaker heart attack. But I got lucky and did, but it did do damage to my heart. I just moved into my new apartment. As you can see here, I'm sitting on the new couch. And I got a new doctor because I moved to a different city, Albany, New York, which is the capital of New York. And I got a new doctor, and I'm going to go see him tomorrow. And then I have to make an appointment for the cardiologist because they want to put in a pacemaker. I had a heart attack at 47. I'm 50 now, and I think it's time to get a pacemaker. That's what they wanted to do a while ago, And at first I was like, no, I don't care. If I die, I die. I'm not afraid to die. And I didn't want it at first, but I think I'm going to go do it now. If I can get a little bit longer in life, I would love that. Plus, I got my puppy, which is right here. You can't see her, but she's right here. I'll see if I can. Yeah, there she is. Plus, I got my puppy Annabelle here, and I want to make sure she's well taken care of, and I don't want to leave her behind because I love her to death, and she needs me, and I need her. I've needed her just as much as she needed me. Anyways, so now my heart condition is permanent, and I got a permanent disability. The kind of heart disease I have is on the SSDI disability blue book. They call it a blue book that they have, and there's certain disabilities in there that automatically qualify you for SSI or disability. But what I would suggest for anybody out there trying to get SSI or SSDI, get a lawyer first and do it that way. Excuse me. Now, a lawyer, like I said, didn't help me. I did it all myself. And they still got paid, okay? But most lawyers will help you. But there's a thing with that, and that is you have to have treatment papers. If you do not have treatment papers, they are not going to help you. You have to have at least a year's or over a year's worth of treatment. Say you have a back issue. You want to go to the doctors. You want to go to regular appointments. You want to do certain things to get treatment for that. And you got to go through that for at least a year. You can't just have one regular doctor appointment 6 months and then that doctor schedule you for another appointment in another 6 months, 2 doctor's appointments in a year. It's not going to work. They're not going to give it to you, okay? You have to have treatment papers. When I got my mental health, I was in counseling for 6 years. And I was in mental health counseling for 6 years and on all types of medications, including Seroquel. And that's a medicine for psychotic disorder. That's a medicine to help you sleep at night and things like that. I was on that medicine, and I still needed a doctor's notice that said I could not work in order for the judge to approve me. It is getting harder and harder to get SSI and SSDI. You have to have proof. You have to have treatment papers. You got to have doctor's papers. You got to have tests, blood tests, CAT scans, all kinds of things in order to get it. Now, I know there are some people out there that are going to comment on this video and say, well, there doesn't look like there's anything wrong with you. On the outside, there's not, but on the inside, there is. My heart is bad. It's destroyed. Okay? And that's another thing people got to think about out there is just because someone don't look disabled or looks like they don't have a disabling condition, it doesn't mean they don't inside, because they could have a disabling condition. Then there's a lot of people out there that are going to say, well, I see people in wheelchairs work a job. I see people with wheelchairs, no legs, work a job. Okay? That might be true, yes, that might be true. A lot of people in wheelchairs and a lot of people that do get disability, only have one leg or lost both legs or whatever the case may be. But then there are some that do work. There are some blind people that actually work. I understand that, but everybody's case is different. Everybody's health conditions are different. Everybody's, it's just different. I give credit to those people out there that, that work a job and they have no legs or they're in a wheelchair. I give credit to all them people. But some people handle it differently too. Like I said, my heart's really bad, so I get tired a lot. I get dizzy spells a lot, and a lot of jobs don't like that. A lot of jobs, I'm in and out of the doctors. I have to go to the cardiologist. I have to go to my regular doctors. A lot of jobs don't like that if you're constantly going to the doctors or constantly have to go for treatment here and there. You know, a job wants you there as much as you could be there. Um, Now, there are some jobs that are very flexible with that kind of thing and that really don't care. But there's a lot of jobs that do care and they want you there. And if you miss so many days of work, you might get fired. You know, with my heart the way it is and without the pacemaker in yet, there's a possibility I could pass out when I'm working and get hurt or killed or hurt someone else by doing something. Um, and people got to think about that when they look at people with disabilities. There are people out there with disabilities that lead normal lives. I mean, a person with a disability is still a person. They still have feelings. They could still cry. They could still feel pain. They could feel happy. They could be happy. They can feel all the things a regular person can do, can feel. A person with a disability. Just because a person has a disability, whether they be blind or whatever the case may be, doesn't mean they're not a person like everybody else. The guy across the street that my brother lives with, the one that gifted me this couch, he bought me this couch. He bought an entertainment center that I showed in my last video, and he bought me a kitchen table and chairs. He is actually 71 years old. He's blind in one eye and only got slight vision in another eye, and he's got a seeing eye dog, and he's 71, and he still works today. And he's been working with the state for 40 years. Uh, does he have health conditions? Yes, he's got diabetes, he's got the blindness, he's got health issues, and he still works. But he likes working. He likes doing it. Not that I didn't like working. I liked working. I miss working. I get bored all the time. I don't like not working or not doing something. I hate it. Um, but he can walk. He can talk. He works on the computer for the state. Okay? And I give him credit because he's been there, I think, 40 years or something like that with the state. And, you know, there are people like that. But then there's others that have more of a debilitating condition. He had a heart issue too, but he had a valve replaced, so now his heart is not really an issue for him. Excuse me, I'm still sick, guys. And I believe it was a C word again because I'm still sick and still coughing. But anyways, I want to suggest to everybody out there, if you're looking to get SSI or SSDI, you're going to need lots of doctors. You're going to need lots of medical records, or you're not going to even come close to getting it. They're just going to keep on denying you and denying you. And you're going to have to get a lawyer. And even with a lawyer, like I said, I had a lawyer. Even with a lawyer, I still had to get a paper stating from my doctor that I could not work in order to get approved. For the people out there, because the lady's video I was watching yesterday, she said that her doctors wouldn't fill out papers for SSDI or SSI. If you get a doctor like that, most doctors' offices, a lot of people don't know this, but most doctors' offices now, even your primary care doctor or your psychologist or your counselor, they might require you to pay to have that paper filled out. I know my counseling, if I wanted a paper filled out by them, they had a $20 service fee to fill out that paper for SSDI or SSI. And a lot of doctors are like that now. They will charge you a $20 or $30 fee separate from your doctor's visit to fill out those papers. That is not covered by Medicaid or Medicare. That's something that you have to pay out of pocket in order to fill out them papers. Now, if you get a doctor that is Basically not sending SSI or SSDI, because when you apply for SSI, SSDI, and you put all your information down there, and you put your doctor's information down there, if SSI is sending them papers and SSDI is sending your doctor papers requesting your medical records and your doctor is not sending them, then I would change doctors, because you're going to need that. You can't just go to SSI or SSDI and say, well, my doctor's not sending it, there's nothing I can do about it, because you know what? SSI or SSDI don't care. They won't approve you. So make sure you got good doctors. Make sure you ask them ahead of time. Do you charge to fill out the form for SSI or SSDI? Will you fill out the form? Will you send records if SSI or SSDI request them? Those are the most important questions to ask. Like I said, you're going to have treatment, because if you don't have treatment, most likely you're not going to get it. A lot of people have to have almost like a dying condition in order to get SSI or SSDI, unless you got one of the things in the blue book. Like the specific heart disease that I got, I usually get AFib, and I have another certain heart condition that's in the blue book that considers that a permanent life-threatening condition that I have. So now I would have been automatically approved. If I say I didn't have SSI or SSDI right now, they would have looked in their blue book and they would have automatically approved me. Some people do have those conditions and they can be automatically improved or approved for SSI or SSDI. If you want to know if you have one of those conditions, all you got to do is go to Google and search disability blue book, and it will give you the conditions in there where you can automatically be approved for disability. It took me 3 years to fight for mine. You know, my ex, the mother of my children, she's got a lot of health conditions. She applied for it. She got approved right away. Some people are like that. Like I said, it depends on your medical conditions too. But you're going to want to get a lawyer, most likely. Lawyers do not take any money. They do not ask for money ahead of time. You get a Social Security lawyer in your area, in your state. They take a percentage of your back pay when you get back pay. But it is not that much. A lawyer that takes money out of your back pay actually don't take that much, okay? You're still left with a lot of money. Well, it depends on how long you've been fighting for it. Now mine, I was fighting for about 2 years. And for my back pay for Social Security, I got about $30,000 for back pay. But the lawyer took their money, and while I was waiting for SSDI to be approved, I actually applied for Social Services to get help paying some of my rent. But when I applied, and Social Services will help do that, but they may ask you to sign a paper to pay it back. That's what I had to do here in New York. I had to sign a paper saying that whatever rent they paid, I would pay back once I got my SSDI back pay. So I paid welfare back $5,000 something. Then the lawyer took their money out. So you may have to pay it back if you get help from welfare. A lot of states are buckling down on welfare and work requirements. If you are applying for SSI or you're applying for SSDI, most social services will give you a waiver for the work requirements, which means you don't have to go to job training, or you don't have to go look for a job, or whatever the case may be. Now, if you just go apply for social services or get help with anything, including food stamps, I know in New York, you have to work a minimum amount of hours a week, or you have to be in job training. But if you're applying for SSDI or SSI and you get those papers in, and you say you got an application in, you're waiting on a thing, they will help you. But you may have to pay it back. Now me, I didn't care about having to pay it back because I like paying my own way and doing my own thing. So keep that in mind. But I just wanted to give some people, I usually don't come on here with my face, but I did today, and I wanted to give some people some insight on applying for SSI or SSDI. If you try to do it by yourself and you don't have treatment, like I said, if you go to the doctors, say you go to the doctors today, and then you go once again in 6 months and you only have 2 doctor's appointments, don't expect to get SSI or SSDI. It's not enough medical records. You know, that's what they told my brother. My brother is currently trying to get, well, wants to try to get it. But the lawyer told him that he would need treatment papers, at least a year's or over a year's worth of treatment papers. Because he has a lot of issues too with his feet swelling. He's older than I am. He's almost 60. He's got a lot of trouble with his legs and his feet swelling and things like that. And probably other health issues because he hasn't had tests in a long time. But I'm not going to get into that. Just know that it's very hard to get SSI or SSDI. If you have any other questions, leave them in the comments down below, and I will try to answer them to the best of my knowledge. Like I said, I've been on SSDI for 3 years now, so I do know a lot about it. And like I said, if you got questions, leave them in the comments down below, and I will answer you. I usually answer all comments. Also, please hit the subscribe button down below, the like button, and the share button to share this video out. I will be doing more videos about different things, but since this is basically a channel living on SSDI and showing you different things on how I live on SSDI, I wanted to put this out there for everybody for their information. A lot of people know this already, but some don't. Again, I want to thank all my subscribers for subscribing to my channel and keeping up on my videos and liking the videos and sharing my videos and just showing me the love. I have a lot of subscribers that I consider my friends, you know, like Save Here First Ella, Princess Ella, Adventures with Victoria, Johnny from Cajun Roots Reseller, Delicious Denise, she's another one that I've become friends with over YouTube. Retro Stephanie, she has a YouTube channel also. And they're just all great people here on YouTube. And I want to thank you all for being there for me through the hard times. And Annabelle here. Hi, Annabelle. As you can see, she's tired. I just took her out. Anyways, guys, much love to all, and I will see you in my next video.